everyone. Welcome back to episode 8 of Tech Talk. I'm Michelle, and I'm here with my co-host,
Ryan.
In the past episodes, we explored many ways on how we as individuals can leverage AI technologies to make our lives more efficient without speaking about the elephant in the room, which is
We might all be getting replaced.
is AI taking our jobs?
Yes.
So I found this article from nextboard.edu called How Will Artificial Intelligence Affect Jobs Between 2024 to 2030? So what I like about this article is that it talks about our immediate future from this year to 6 years from now, rather than by 2050, by 2080. That just sounds so far away.
Yeah, we're talking about right now. And what's fascinating is that this article was written in January of 2024. So now that we're in August, we can kind of see what came to fruition already in its predictions. Because they even talk about here how Google unveiled new AI software. But now we know that this is our Google Gemini, which came out earlier this year, that we've been harping on. And it actually did do all the things that it said it would do.
The article starts by asking this question: will AI help the world or hurt it? And you kind of acknowledge that this is a controversial subject, and there will always be people who are for it and those who are against it. That's kind of my experience too. I know people in my life that are a little bit more resistant to getting to know how AI is revolutionizing our lives. I know so many more people that are super excited and want to learn everything about it.
Yeah, there's definitely two different classes of people that are diving into the AI world. Ones that are not using it now, but some of that could just simply be an intimidation factor.
Yeah.
And there's also some people that are very concerned about the security threat, the privacy.
Yeah.
They're very upset about having to give away so much information. I personally remember years ago when AI first started getting integrated into emails, I thought it was really strange that they were finishing my sentences for me,
Yeah.
which means they were reading everything I was writing. And I'm glad that Google slowly introduced that years ago into Gmail, because now I don't worry about it. And
You don't even think about it.
Exactly. I don't think about it.
You want it.
I want them to finish my sentences for me now. I remember years ago, it was really like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah, the way I think about AI technology is it probably integrates into our existing infrastructure, which will be easy to oversee in terms of privacy protection. So I'm not too worried about that. When I think about AI, I don't think about robots.
No, exactly.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. There's this concept of the robots taking over the world and everything.
It talk about mostly these working in human types of jobs that are manually repetitive, that AI and robotics is a disruptive force when it comes to the future of jobs. It merely serves to steal jobs. I feel like I'm giving some sort of a political rhetoric here.
Yeah, exactly.
But robots and AI technologies can and will create a great many new vocations and help solve complex problems and make our daily lives easier and more convenient. The jury is not yet out on this, but the leaning is more toward AI being a positive force rather than a negative one.
I do agree with the sentiment, but it's not going to be positive for everyone.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be jobs that can be completely replaced, and we're going to talk about those later in this podcast. And unless if you embrace AI, if you stay that person that's afraid of it, you're going to start slipping further and further behind.
I do sympathize with the group of people or the type of jobs that are overtaken by AI and robotics, because I do know people who take comfort in performing repetitive tasks. It stabilizes their mind and emotion. They feel proud about it. But now it seems that manufacturers and corporate entities want to replace those by technologies.
Exactly. Another thing is, surprisingly, creativity. That was something that has been almost getting undervalued over time a little bit, and it's going to get even worse in this AI revolution because, especially with artwork, we talked about creating images. You can just text to these fascinatingly complex images, songs. who came up with lyrics to songs, right?
Yeah.
People that are songwriters and all that, that used to be this big thing. And a lot of that stuff's going to be made a lot easier. And I'm sure that they're going to be making music AI in the future, where you can literally have drums and piano music and like everything made synthesized for you.
Yeah, so let's go through some numbers. So here, this article listed numbers from many reliable references. So how will AI affect jobs and the economy? McKinsey Global Institute says that at the global average level of adoption and absorption advances in AI implied by their simulation, AI has the profound impact to deliver additional global economic activity of around 13 trillion in the foreseeable future and by 2030, or about 16% higher cumulative GDP compared with today. This amounts to 1.2% additional GDP growth per year. If delivered, this impact will compare well with that of other general purpose technologies through history. This will mainly come from substitution of labor by automation and increased innovation in products and services. So when I think about AI replacing jobs, I think the key word here is automation. It replaces all these repetitive tasks and make variable tasks more consistent. So it's kind of hard to beat.
Yeah, exactly.
The same report went on to say that by 2030, the average simulation shows that some 70% of companies will have embraced the AI revolution and adopted at least one type of AI technology, but that less than half will have fully absorbed the 5 categories. So I hope this article actually go through what the 5 categories are.
Yeah.
Forbes say AI has the potential to be among the most disruptive technologies across global economies that we will ever develop. So Forbes here is kind of sounding the alarm a little bit, saying that this will be the most disruptive technologies across global economies.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether they mean that in a negative or a positive way. It's definitely going to change things up.
Yeah, because disruption doesn't necessarily have to be negative.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to stir things up for sure. So here, there's this article talking about how it will affect AI jobs and how many jobs are going to be replaced by 2030. So this is just 6 years in the future. So this Goldman Sachs talks about there could be 300 million full-time jobs being replaced. That's a pretty large number, considering that there's, 350 million people in the United States alone.
Yeah, so what does Goldman Sachs mean here? Like globally?
I'm assuming this is globally, because they're talking about the US, Europe.
Oh yeah, it clarifies it. It says it could replace a quarter of work tasks in the US and Europe.
Okay, all right. But that is, I guess that's a significant amount of jobs. That's pretty crazy what their estimates are. And also the University of Pennsylvania and OpenAI, they found the educated white-collar workers earning up to $80,000 a year are the most likely to be affected.
Oh, man.
These white-collar workers having a pretty good salary here, they're going to be hurt by this workforce automation.
You know what I think? I think it's time to go blue-collar.
Yeah, you're always enjoying the blue-collar work. Yes, because that's the physical labor. And that's something that cannot be replaced.
I suppose machines like farming, construction, a lot of things could be automated, but I assume it's going to be not so hard for these white-collar workers to be retrained and repurposed for automating blue-collar work.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why it's very important to stay on top of education, stay on top of the trends in AI, so that you can make sure that if your job is going to be ones that are replaced, that you're starting to train right now and be ready. And what's great is with AI, you can educate yourself within a year, whereas previously it might take 5 years to educate yourself in order to do another job.
Are you putting the universities out of business now?
Well,
no more student loans.
Exactly. That's gonna. Yeah, they don't talk about that because what they do is student loans is a big business. So what they're going to say is you cannot use AI in school. So that instead of AI replacing school, they make a cut down and say you cannot use AI. So that way we stay in business as
Yeah.
the education system.
Wow, you sound like one of those conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I know, like you can see it's happening already. And what does MIT have to say?
Well, Forbes here sounding the alarm again.
Yeah,
AI will replace as many as 2 million manufacturing workers by 2025.
wow, and that's coming up already, just 6 months away. Now I can see where, especially of course it's going to be Boston and MIT because they're always making a lot of robots here in
Oh,
Boston. You know what I
terrible.
mean? And they have their little running dogs and everything.
oh yes, serving people food with
Yeah.
robots. I mean, I want a good, friendly server. I don't want to be served by robots.
No, I know. We want, and then of course we're going to have to tip the robot 25%.
Over my dead body. I will not tip this damn robot.
Yeah. All right, and then there was another report here by McKinsey Global Institute says that by 2030, 14% of the employees globally could need to change their careers due to digitization, robotics, and AI advancements.
That's a crazy number.
Yeah, 14% globally. And that's where they're getting these $300 million, that could even be an underestimate now, 300 million.
Well, so I was doing the research a little bit on how AI impact different economies. So in the advanced economies, AI will sustain the biggest impact. It will revolutionize many people's lives, job sectors. But in the relative less advanced economies, the impact isn't as huge. So I wouldn't be surprised that most of the 300 million full-time jobs come from advanced economies such as North America and Europe,
Yeah, that's why
And-
they talk about that.
certain area in Asia.
Yeah,
But for the less than advanced economies, maybe it's only like 30 million jobs.
yeah, like a fraction of that.
So these 14% employees that need to change jobs are possibly also mostly these white collar workers
Exactly.
earning up to $80,000 a year.
Yeah. And this, you know that these companies, these CEOs, all these people are salivating, waiting for the chance to be able to fire these workers and replace them with automation.
But it also sounds like AI will come up with technologies that replace work that won't need manual labor. So CEO, I think, could be replaced.
Yeah.
You know, for us that have to do work with our hands, we just have to be over and over retrained,
Yeah.
right? We actually have better chance surviving than these CEOs.
Yeah, maybe.
And then this article go on and talk about the specific sectors that are impacted. So what jobs are most likely to be automated? 1, customer service representative.
Yeah, and I still, every day I'm on the phone, have to scream out like operator, give me a real person, give me a real person. So unless if the AI can dramatically improve, I hope that they don't get rid of these human jobs because it's just going to be a nightmare for us as a customer. And I think what happened is, I think these people were already fired years in advance of the technology catching up. And like we've all been suffering because of it. Because in my mind, I'm always having to wait on the phone forever.
Yeah.
And I'm always having to say, I can't, they can't help me. They can't.
All
help
of
me.
our customer service representatives are busy right now.
Exactly.
There are about 5 people ahead of you. Your wait time is 27 minutes.
Yeah. So this is the type of thing where what I hope they do is I hope they integrate AI faster into this. Since they've already gotten rid of most employers and humans, I hope they start updating their automatic systems. So that's going to make everyone's experience better.
Yeah.
And we won't spend so much, we'll have more time to do other things rather than waiting on the phone.
Yeah, so the next one is receptionist, which is very similar to the customer service representatives. And then accountants and bookkeepers.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know much about this, but you actually have experience with that. You found an app that will just record all the receipts.
Oh, yeah. If you can take a picture of your receipt and then it'll digitize it. And then it'll add, then you can separate it into groceries, gifts, whatever. So there are apps, those are some paid products that I found online for that.
Salespeople.
I guess the thing is, people are now, everyone's all about educate yourself. And so the whole tropes about salesmen was they were trying to pull a game on us, right?
Yeah.
They were basically trying to deceive us into buying things. And I think everybody is now a lot smarter.
So from my personal experience, I have a sales associate at a department store that helped me purchase stuff. What I have noticed is their app actually give me AI generated style boards. I would just scroll through those style boards to get new ideas on what item to buy. And that does alleviate a big part of what my sales associate could do for me.
Mm-hmm.
So she no longer generates style boards for me because
that can be done.
Yeah, just
based on previous purchases and everything.
Yeah, by my purchase history.
Yeah.
Research and analysis.
I feel like I'm in research and analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see the AI replacing me. I see the AI making me work as though I was 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
You know, I used to work in a larger group and I would have other people helping me out, right? Well, now I don't have those people helping me out, but I can do it myself. So I can see where there may be less jobs available because there's going to be a higher demand of the people that currently have the job. They're going to be expecting you now to produce at the level of 3 people so that they don't have to hire 3 people and they can pay you as 1 person, but they expect your output to be 3 times.
I used to spend a whole weekend just to quantify 5 stacks of images.
Exactly.
And if I continue my practice today, and refuse to look into how I automate the process, the image analysis process, then I'm not going to be able to produce results as fast, and eventually I will be left behind.
Exactly.
Compared to people who are willing to do the automation process.
Yeah, because they're going to be able to be working as though they're working 48 hours in a day or something like that.
Yeah, the smart people.
Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, I wish there was more time in the day. That's been a quote that's been said for years, right?
Yeah.
There's only so much time in the day. Well, AI is now actually extending that time. Even though it's 24 hours in a day, some things that used to be done as fast as 3 hours can now be done in 3 minutes. And so it's like, boom, now you've actually extended your day by 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You know,
you're using different types of different regions in your brain to solve the same problem.
Yeah.
Essentially, I have to overcome this pain. It's so painful that I have to sit here and click on my cursor. And now it's like I need to be creative and think about how I quantify these images using various ways of doing it. Which way give me the best result? Maybe I'll test 3 different pipelines.
Yeah, and then checking the accuracy of it as well.
Yeah.
And being able to critically evaluate and say, this is not good, or this is better than me.
You know, my old boss really painfully accomplishing a task.
Yeah.
So I think she could be left behind.
She'll be left in the dust.
Warehouse work.
This must be these gigantic robots.
Yeah, robots, and also they're talking about online orders. So I think there's a lot of data organization, sorting data, and that type of thing. And the truckers.
I have to admit that I just ordered golf balls yesterday at 3 p.m. and they showed up by 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's just this same day delivery. These things were unheard of. Even to me, 2 years, 1 year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That it could just be done that easily with a click of a button.
Yeah. But also I feel like it's kind of the technology in this sense. The technology advances so fast that I may not want it. Okay, so if I really need razors and I don't want to leave my house, that would be nice. But if I'm buying something of excess, which most of us do, right? A lot of things in excess in our lives we don't need, but we just want a little treat once in a while. I miss the fact that I have to wait 7 days.
Mm.
Because now it's a click of a button and then I get it, and then the excess item is less special.
Yeah, but that's the point. They then want you to buy the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. They want you to just keep clicking and keep clicking. They don't want you to be waiting and happy. They want you to be needing more, like a little rat pressing a lever. All right, let's keep going here.
Insurance underwriting.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I just know recently I got insurance for cannoli, and it came back pretty fast. It asked me many questions, so I gave answers, detailed answers. So maybe AI is able to analyze that and give me a quick answer.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it means. Retail, self-checkout stations.
Wow. And they're getting better and better, I have to admit. Funny enough, with the grocery store,
Yeah.
you know, if you've watched over the last 10 years, they've constantly have to replace them because they're broken
Yeah.
or they're not working. But I think finally these most recent ones are actually more reliable than ever.
Yeah, and I feel like it doesn't take away the workers, the cashier workers, because that's a terrible job.
Yeah.
It's so repetitive and it probably wears on a person's body.
Yeah. It's a tricky situation because there's still so many complicated groceries. You know how Amazon had its own like self-checkout only store, but I think they gave up on that. It didn't seem to work.
Yeah, or maybe it just doesn't make as much money as they hope.
Yeah.
Well, there goes my dreams of getting one of these grocery store cashier job after my retirement.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do that job, you know?
I know. But you can be there like manning the machines.
I just want to do some mindless work sometimes, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The technology is taking away that opportunity for me.
Oh, that's true. There is that. Yeah, there's no more mindless work that we're going to be able to do. Everything that's the only jobs left are going to be pretty either manually labor intensive or mentally labor intensive.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how can you quickly change your career? Oh, which jobs will actually forget that. Let's just go into which jobs will not be replaced.
Which jobs will not be replaced by AI? So number one, teachers.
Yes, educators.
Yeah, you can't just bypass teaching and learning with AI. You have to teach people how to come up with AI.
Exactly, how to use it and everything. And actually I think the teachers' jobs are going to be made a heck of a lot easier if they integrate the AI, because you can actually have them make presentations for you.
Yeah.
I've done it. You can have multiple choice exams made.
The teachers can use AI, just not the students.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so number two, lawyers and judges. I think that's really interesting point because when I read these terms of service, and you know I read them, it always says you cannot use our AI services making material decisions about a person's health and their life and their jobs and all these things.
Yeah, you can't send them to jail based on the AI.
So the legal world have rejected AI.
Yes, but if you're studying, you can really help it to study for the bar.
Yeah.
Because you can type in a legal argument and say, give me the cases that will support this.
Yeah.
And that'll just boom, boom, boom. It'll easily feed in 100 different cases that maybe you'd never be able to find on your own.
Yeah. Well, but just definitely watch out about the source of that because sometimes they give you a reference that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, you have to
Because the
obviously have to go to the main source.
Yeah, because the nature of the LLM language, they will just make up a source that you think is perfect, and then you search online, you can't find it.
Yeah, that's one thing is, and we'll get it into the future, is you can direct the AI in your prompting to do something that's incorrect. If you say that's not right, please give me this.
Yeah, it will have remorse.
Yeah, it has remorse, but then it sometimes will want to please you, and it'll just give you false information.
Yeah.
If you try to like encourage it to do so.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about that.
Yeah, sometimes it gives you these answers and say like links invalid. That's your clue.
Now, see, I told you these CEOs are safe.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Managing teams inside an organization is a matter of leadership, and this is not a stack of behaviors that can be written down in a code and processed in a linear way.
Exactly. So these managers are safe. Oh, HR! You know, there's going to be even a greater need for HR departments, right?
Yeah.
because there's going to be so much.
AI written CVs.
Exactly. They have to go through it. Are people cheating? Are they faking their stuff?
Yeah, I mean, now that I've seen that directors, managers, and CEOs aren't going to be replaced, I think we should just strive to be the CEOs.
Yeah. Exactly.
Psychologists and psychiatrists, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like
Yep.
researchers can use AI technologies, but still matters related to a person's health and their employment status and all that stuff cannot be replaced by a machine.
Exactly. You need that human element. And in fact, with increased technology eking into our lives, there's going to be a lot more need for people to be focusing on their mental health.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's because it's just going to be so much harder now to relax and detox from
Yes. Like your mind is spinning from all the great ideas you come up with with AI.
I mean, I was up for like 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night, just typing in, prompting, trying to figure out how to increase the flexibility of my hamstring.
Yeah, and I was just telling you like a few hours ago, in the past, I have to come up with a path forward.
Yeah.
Now I know there is a million paths forward. So which path do I choose?
Exactly.
It's a matter of, am I willing to put in the work and go through the path? And that just feels really overwhelming.
Yeah. But what's great is I even asked the AI this morning, like, how can I calm myself down? Is that going to improve my flexibility? And they said yes. And then you can ask, okay, give me an exercise plan that includes relaxation, and stuff like that. So use AI to help not be overwhelmed by AI.
I feel like this conversation is not very balanced. We need to find someone else that's willing to sound the alarm rather than singing praises.
Yeah, we need somebody here that's like afraid.
Yes.
Because we're definitely positive about it.
So surgeons, I think that's pretty straightforward. Surgeons come up with medical devices and get trained all the time, too.
Yeah.
Computer system analysts, of course, right? Actually, you should add more jobs.
Yeah, that's going to increase because it's like as the reliance happens, things are going to go wrong. I mean, even with the new cars, everything is computerized now, but that's just going to be more issues. Right?
Yeah. Hey, here, actually contradicting what you were saying before. They think artists and writers aren't going to be replaced. See, writing especially is such an imaginative fine art, and being able to place a specific selection of words in the right order is definitely a challenging endeavor.
Yeah, but you see, this is where I was talking about how this article was written in January of 2016.
Yeah.
I would have agreed with it at that point.
Yeah.
But now that I've been behind the scenes and learned a little bit more about what AI in the future is going to be capable of in terms of a writing and creative writing standpoint, I have much more fear for those jobs. And sadly, it's because we know now that these companies are hiring people with PhDs in writing to train their models.
Oh, man.
To become better than, and so it's like literally the models are learning from the professors.
The 1%.
They're literally paying the PhDs to teach their models.
Oh,
exactly.
great.
The creative writers and everything.
Trainers.
I know. And so those people are like, they're ruining their own jobs or something, but maybe they're later in their careers as it is.
But I actually think this is very promising because I am currently writing a psychology fiction.
Yeah.
So it's psychology and writer can't really be replaced, right?
Yeah, that's good. Well, and the other thing is it's going to make more people who weren't very good at writing able to start publishing books.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So,
I don't even need to hire an editor. I think I'll just put it through Gemini.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe these people that did a lot of revising and editing, they're the ones that might be in more trouble.
I very much sympathize with that because maybe they used to enjoy working from home, reading and writing.
Yeah.
And now they have a fire lit up under.
Yeah, because everybody can do this stuff now.
So how many jobs will be lost to AI by 2025, which is next year? The World Economic Forum has estimated that artificial intelligence will replace some 85 million jobs by 2025.
Wow.
Freethink says that 65% of retail jobs could be automated by that year, saying that this is largely due to technological advancements, rising costs and wages, tight labor markets, and reduced consumer spending. So maybe we'll see more unemployment data in the near future.
Yeah.
So how many jobs will be lost to AI by 2030? PwC estimates that by mid-2030s, up to 30% of jobs could be automatable,
Wow.
with slightly more men being affected in the long run as autonomous vehicles and other machines replace many manual tasks where their share of employment is higher.
Wow.
Oh, poor men.
Yeah, the men are in trouble.
During the first and second waves, they estimate that women could be at greater risk of automation due to their higher representation in clerical and other administrative functions. Yeah, actually, I have Gemini craft a chart, break down job sectors in pie charts form, and we can go through that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll look at that later. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to think about the fraction of jobs that could be replaced. Once again, unfortunately, we have this positive spin on it because what I think about in my mind is if the AI gets better, that potentially could reduce lines in everything, right? Reduce waiting times, and then we'll have more time for our leisure and our hobby activities rather than spending all this time waiting for things.
I suppose one way of mitigating this is for companies that are highly automated and have to lay off workers because of automation, they can be taxed a little more.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that can offset the unemployment.
Yeah, that's somehow, yeah, because then they can be contributing towards the unemployment that they're creating.
Yeah,
They have to get back.
It's not really their fault, but we don't want to create a world where so many people are out of jobs, right? That's not fair. And the people out of jobs aren't benefiting from all the increase in productivity.
Exactly.
And it's not really their fault.
No. So there's got to be a fund, potentially an AI-generated fund. That, there's like a tax. If a company is replacing a jobs because of AI, then they might have to put a certain percentage of their revenue into like unemployment for AI reasons. That can be a new category of unemployment.
Yeah.
Like a disability check or something.
Artificial intelligence check.
Yeah, exactly.
So now this article going to talk about how to embrace AI and learn skills to take advantage of this new technology. So one is embrace lifelong learning.
Yeah, so keep up to date with the latest trends, utilize AI to stay on top of things.
And two is develop soft skills. But again, I feel like January to August, there's a huge shift, right? Right now, right here, it says it is still far from replicating human emotional intelligence and creativity. But by now, August, I think it's gotten much better.
Yeah, this was just when Google Gemini was an idea when this article was written.
Yeah.
And they've really pushed the bar. And also remember, we talked about earlier that iOS is going to be coming out, Apple's going to be coming out with its own integration of ChatGPT and Apple Intelligence. And that means it's going to basically bring to the forefront to hundreds of millions of people that are Apple users.
Yeah.
And that means every day they're going to be thinking about AI in their own lives.
Be agile.
Head on a swivel.
Pivot.
Yes, you got to be able to pivot, just like our friends would do.
Specialize. Yeah, I understand specialize. You want to gain, you want to get good at particular skills.
Yeah. That way, yeah, you have a certain level of expertise that can't be easily replaced. The naysayers. Yeah, so see, this person was also kind of along with us where even though he was spouting all these negative facts about replacing this, replacing that, he seems to have a positive view of it in the long run as well. Stay ahead of the game. Look at that. And they even have a little plug for MBA programs, BBA. That's an interesting one. We have seen people on LinkedIn getting certifications for AI and stuff like that. So that might even be something worth looking into, figuring out what a BBA is.
I think Bachelor of Business Administration.
Oh, okay.
And this is MBA is Master of Business Administration. So this is the pie chart I was telling you about. So I have Gemini Advanced generate two charts. On the left is jobs potentially replaced by AI advancement. So this is all prediction from various sources from the internet. And on the right is jobs added by AI advancement. So they're breaking down
Different categories here.
Yeah, so the biggest impacted sector of replacement is manufacturing and product something. And then the next one up is transportation and logistics. So I don't know much about transportation. And again, it mentioned retail and sales here.
Yeah.
So it does seem like retail sector is going to be greatly impacted. Jobs added, not surprisingly, data science and AI.
Yeah.
Software development.
Yeah, software development makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I also broke down this just by a good old table.
Yeah.
So you see 35% of the jobs that are displaced belong to transportation and logistics. I don't understand that, but I'm thinking maybe self-driving cars.
Well, there's some element of that, but funny enough, I've actually seen YouTube videos about self-driving delivery cars in other cities. So they have these little drones basically that drive around and will deliver your pizza to your door.
Oh yeah, actually Domino's
Yeah.
have the advertisement. Oh no, Domino's had the guy being a rocket man.
Yeah.
Domino's always have a real person deliver, but this time it's a person with all the fuel coming out of their body, fly across.
Shooting across the thing.
Yeah. So the next one is manufacturing and production. So I assume this is largely due to automation, retail and sales. That makes sense. Administrative and office support. So this is what they were saying in the article, the clerical work.
Yeah, that's going to happen in the second wave. These secretaries and everything.
Food service and hospitality. I assume it's just a lot of the platform gets automated.
Yeah.
And possibly the self-service. You can even see them in McDonald's.
Exactly.
Right.
You have those charts. And at Panera, when I go to Panera now, I just order right there.
Yeah. But sometimes I miss real person interactions.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of ridiculous. Dealing with machines all day long.
Yeah.
And number 6 is telecommunications and call centers. So hopefully some of those services that you really want improvement from will come to fruition.
Yeah, hopefully they get better.
And surprisingly, construction.
Yeah, the only thing I can imagine with that is big machines.
Yeah, so actually I got some inspiration from my hairdressers. So my hairdresser said that they got some AI technology integrated into a machine, so now they can mix the color more perfectly and more tailored towards a certain client.
Nice.
So if mixture can be automated in construction, maybe that's something that used to take a lot of time.
Yeah, like the cement.
And the tiny house trend, right? So tiny houses can be fully built by artificial intelligence, I assume.
3D printer.
Yeah, exactly. So finance and insurance. So we do know about the insurance underwriting. I don't know about finance, but I assume it's still illegal to use artificial intelligence to trade stocks.
Yeah.
And media, entertainment, and maybe this touch on some of the music making.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The music making as well as the sausage making.
And healthcare, right? So I've always used WebMD. I think that a lot of that healthcare can be automated, including medical devices, your insulin device,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So jobs added, data science and AI, software development and engineering, cloud computing and infrastructure, cybersecurity, robotics and automation, digital marketing and content creation. These all make sense.
Yeah. Data science.
Healthcare and biotechnology. So there's going to be more jobs in this sector.
Yes. Because, and also there's going to be so many robots doing surgeries, but you're going to need to design them. You're going to need to maintain them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's life and death now.
Become a doctor and scientist, guys.
Yeah. It's fascinating if you think about it, because once they start using all these machines, the person that develops the machine could have just as much liability as the doctor performing the surgery. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You're going to need a lot of insurance.
Oh, that's right. Oh, they just said the insurance was shrunk.
Yeah, but maybe we'll need more of it.
Education and training, so I suppose there's gonna be a bloom. There already is a bloom of education of AI. Bloom of the AI education.
Yeah, like the algae blooms.
Yeah, and customer service and support. That is really interesting. I assume this kind of is a two-edged sword. So you can automate a lot of customer service, but also, like you said, you're gonna need all the customer service of the machine.
Exactly. Because people aren't gonna know how to use the automation. So they're gonna need help with that, right?
Yeah.
You see that all the time. There's a self-checkout, but they have to hire multiple people to like fix the self-checkout every time it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Or fix the coin machine. We tried to get coins the other day.
Softwares are always buggy.
Yeah.
And green energy and sustainability. I guess maybe this is job added by chance because you don't have jobs in other places. Now you can focus more energy
exactly.
on green energy.
And that's the wave of the future, this green energy.
Or maybe you can also develop so many robots going into the landfill, right? Now you have robot sorting your trash.
Oh yeah, the robots. Exactly.
And then you add jobs that way.
Yep. Because then you gotta fix the robots and make the robots. So it seems like we seem to be, from this discussion, we seem to have a little bit of a positive spin, but we do have an understanding of how it can be very intimidating and somewhat frightening as we're seeing this wave of AI coming. And I think the most important thing to do is be proactive. Do some research like this. Start thinking about what job you have, what job you want in the next 5 or 6 years. If you're on the top number one of the previous list
there's a lot to learn.
There's a lot to learn, but there's a lot of new jobs that are going to be created. And what I have to say is that going into the cyber field or the AI field, right now it's paying significant amounts of money. So you might actually end up being able to find a job quickly that pays a lot more than your current job if you get into the right field.
Yeah.
That's something to consider.
Another thing I think is going to bloom is this disconnect. When you're so overwhelmed by all the technologies in your life, maybe you miss having to make everything from scratch and connect to no technology for a weekend. So these remote cabins in the mountains with no reception, no access to internet, and possibly eaten by a black bear will be the place to go.
Yeah, that's going to be appealing.
So hospitality could be booming in that sense.
Yeah.
Even though the jobs are reducing right now, if there's a shift in demand, then there's a shift in jobs.
Yeah, because what they can advertise literally for technology-free vacation.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
I will be into that.
Leave your cell phones at the door.
I guess I'm already missing the time when things are less complicated.
Yeah, I know. Simple times.
I think that's it for today.
Yeah, this was a great discussion. It's opening my eyes to the pros and also now the cons. And I have to start thinking to myself, which side of the spectrum am I on here?
I think you have the perfect personality to take it all in.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. And hopefully you guys in the audience are more encouraged by this than discouraged. And we hope that if you continue and you subscribe to our channel, we're going to keep giving you some more insights into how you can stay on the edge of this wave of AI.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that we fall under number 6, content creation.
Yeah, that's still going to be increasing. All right, thank you all. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, dance, dance, dance. I just wanna